going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chucky! I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day so far. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. You guys want to watch some court? I want to watch some court. Let's watch some court. Let's see. What do I have tonight? I've got two cases tonight. The first one is with Judge Iroki. I think I always mispronounce his name. He's in Ohio. He is the screaming judge, and we get a little bit of that today. This is an interesting case. We have a witness testifying that, I think she lies a little bit. Just saying. But it's a good one. It's a little bit of a longer one. It's about 35 minutes, but I do have a second clip after. We're going to watch a Judge Washington video after it. So we got two tonight. We have Judge Washington and Judge Iroki. All right. You guys ready? Before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
Okay, the court is on the record in State of Ohio versus Nicholas Boken. Case numbers 25 CRA 95 and 25 CRA 100. These cases were set for a preliminary hearing and pretrial conferences at 2:30 p.m. It's now 3:23 p.m. I understand there have been some problems with securing the witness to appear for today. But regardless, we have to proceed, whether the witness is here or not. On April 9th, 2025, Mr. Boken pled not guilty to one count of aggravated burglary, a first-degree felony in the CRA case, and to assault, a first-degree misdemeanor in the CRB case. As I said, these cases are set for a preliminary hearing and pretrial conference. Mr. Boken is incarcerated in the Conneaut City Jail. He is appearing at this hearing by way of video, and this hearing is being recorded utilizing whereby.com. Present in the courtroom are Mr. Mafid Syed, attorney for Mr. Boken, appearing at table 2 on the video, and law director John Lewis, appearing at table 1 on the video with Officer Jesse Lardy. Mr. Lewis, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, Mikey? Hope you're doing well, my friend.
Call your first witness.
Sierra Smith, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, you want her to sit at the table?
Yeah, if you don't mind, she's going to sit at table with Mr. Syed, so we can. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You may proceed, Mr. Lewis.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Smith, would you please state your full name and spell your name for the record?
Sierra Smith, Sierra.
Hi, Mama Wolfie. How are you doing this evening? Hope you're well. Tell your son that he needs to stop by more often. I miss him. I miss his musk. I hope you're having a good night.
And your last name?
Smith.
Ma'am, are you familiar with the defendant in this case, Nicholas Boken?
Yes.
And how are you familiar with him?
I just met him within the last couple of weeks.
Where do you reside, ma'am?
Hayward Drive, or Hayward Ave,
Do you remember the address?
162.
Okay. Drawing your attention to April 8th, of this year, did you encounter Mr. Boken that day?
Yeah.
If you would, please describe for the court your encounter with Mr. Boken on April 8th. How did it start? How did it begin?
I don't remember right now.
Where were you at on April 8th?
My house?
Okay. And did you at some point encounter Mr. Boken that day?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell the court, if you would, what happened.
He was asked to leave.
Who asked him to leave?
Me and Dave.
Who's Dave? Who's
The
Dave?
homeowner.
Who's Dave?
The homeowner.
What's his last name?
I don't know that.
Okay. Do you reside there with Dave?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. You asked him to leave, then what happened?
He left, and then
He being who?
Nick.
When you say Nick, you're referring to Mr. Boken?
Yeah.
Okay. He left, and then what?
Before he left, I had smashed his guitar outside, and that's when, after he left, he had came in and kicked the door and came after me.
Okay. He kicked the door and entered the home?
Yeah,
And you were inside the home?
correct.
Okay. And what happened once he was inside the home?
And he went after me, and then the dog and Dave stepped in.
Did he physically assault you?
Yeah.
Oh, you were great last night, Rich. Don't worry. You didn't come across as nervous, but I've already told you that. I know you feel. I know you feel like you were, or at least it came out that way. You didn't. You did great, man. You did awesome. I wanted to say something else, and I already forgot. So, oh yeah, she doesn't remember the last name of the person she lives with. The guy who owns the house. I think this was the house. The guy who owns it, who she's currently living with, or at least staying with, she doesn't know his last name. Not a great start to your witness testimony. Clip clap. Thank you so much for the 14 months. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Congratulations and thank you.
Fell on the coffee table.
Were you injured at all?
My leg, I had, ended up having a couple bruises, like on the legs and, like this part of my arm,
Okay.
like after a couple days, like,
And you're saying that Mr. Boken kicked the door open, is that correct?
yeah.
I'm going to show you what I've marked State's Exhibit A. We take a look at that, Mr. Syed.
All right, I do want to ask this question. It appears that she's sitting at the defense table because the attorney she's sitting next to isn't talking, and the prosecutor's asking her the questions. I think it's the guy we can't see. You can see his open laptop, but she's sitting right next to the defense attorney. I think it's just kind of weird, right? I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that's the layout right now. Peeps, thank you so much for the 15 months. Thank you, Peeps. That is awesome. And Bad Scooter for 15 months. You guys are rolling tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And pass that to her, please.
Yeah.
Do you recognize that?
Yeah, that's my left leg.
Okay. And did that injury on your leg there occur as a result of being assaulted by Mr. Boken?
Yes.
Do you recall if there was any damage to the house as a result of what happened?
Just as far as I know, the front door, which is still broken.
Front door was broken?
Yeah, like the frame part. I think that's it.
I'm going to hand you what I've marked as State's Exhibit B. Mr. Syed, if you would take a look at that, pass that down to me, please.
Yeah.
You recognize that, Ms. Smith?
Yeah.
And what's that picture depict?
The door, the part of the wood where,
And that's the door that Nicholas Boken kicked open?
correct.
What happened after you were injured and assaulted by Mr. Boken? What happened next, if you recall?
I went into my room and then that's when the officers had showed up.
So at some point, someone, do you know who called the police? Do you recall?
It was either me or Dave.
Okay. You don't really recall which one? Okay. And then at some point, officers did arrive? Do you remember which officer it was?
No, I had called. Dave had called the second time.
Wixom, I'll give my opinion in a few minutes. I'm gonna let this play for a little bit because I feel like I'm gonna talk for a few minutes on that. So I might actually wait till after this case is over before the next one starts. But I started your message, so I'll get to it. While I am paused though, let's do Dave Mid. Thank you so much for the gifted membership. I appreciate it. Welcome to the new member, and thank you for the 10 months. Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate it.
His mom showed up.
Okay. At some point, did you talk to?
I'm just gonna be pausing like crazy tonight. You guys are awesome. Gene, thank you so much for the generous super chat. Thank you. You're retired as of today. Congratulations. That is awesome. Congratulations. No, that is great. And I'm glad you get to watch more. I do appreciate that. But yeah, no, that is awesome. So congratulations again.
A police officer that day?
Yeah.
Okay. And you indicated, aside from that injury to your leg, you had other injuries as a result?
Yeah, I just had like a couple bruises from falling down, like hitting the table and stuff.
Okay.
The coffee table.
The individual that kicked open your door and assaulted you that day, do you see him? Well, I can't see him
I
at
can see
the
the
moment.
top of
I
his
just
head.
want-
Officer, Sergeant, can you adjust the camera so we can see Mr. Boken?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to hear. I was leaning towards the computer.
Well, he can adjust the camera to go downward.
No, down. Yeah. Right down.
There we go, thank you.
Ms. Smith, the individual that kicked open your door on April 8th and assaulted you, do you see him on the screen in front of you anywhere?
Yes.
And his name is what?
Nicholas Belgian.
And could you please describe?
Yeah, now you know why I couldn't turn this up too much. I turned it up a little bit because it's kind of hard to hear the witness. Yeah, so I honestly I can't turn it up any more than I did. It's it gets ridiculous, especially when judge screams.
For the record, what he's wearing?
Orange jumpsuit.
Okay. And what's his hair look like? He described his hairstyle.
Dreads.
Okay.
Okay, the record will reflect the witnesses identified the defendant.
And again, this happened at 162 Hayward Avenue, Conneaut.
Yeah, bodyguard. I absolutely should have said that. The defendant's in jail. He's on the screen. I dropped the ball in letting you guys know that was going on. So yeah, we have the witness sitting next to the defense attorney. Again, I still say that's weird. Prosecutor's at the bottom. You can't see him. You can see his computer's open. Judge is where the judge is, and then defendant is in jail.
Correct.
Correct.
That's the residence where you keep the door open. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Smith, is it okay if I call you Sierra?
Yes.
First, let me introduce myself. My name is Mafid Syed. I'm Nicholas's attorney. I'm just going to just cross-examine you. So first, did you even want to be here today?
Objection.
Yes.
But you were just shaking your head no.
I just had somebody break into my house this morning and steal a whole bunch of my stuff. So I'm
Okay.
dealing with that right now.
Okay. Move on, Mr. Sage. She's here. Why don't you shut up, Mr. Boken, or I'll turn the volume down. Shut up!
I didn't even say
Shut up! Go ahead.
Ms. Smith, you testified you don't remember how the incident started?
He was there for a couple of days.
You don't know Dave's last name even though you live in his house?
No.
But you live in his house.
Correct.
John.
Are you a tenant?
Yes.
Do you pay rent?
No, I have a letter on the house. There's payment.
But you don't pay money?
No.
Okay. And you've lived there how long?
A month?
And you're not sure who called the police?
I called the first time and then Dave called the second time, both from his phone, and mine was broke.
You mentioned smashing a guitar.
Okay. So I don't think I've even given a summary of what's actually going on. So the guy in jail, he's in jail. He's on the monitor. We can't see him. He's the one who just got yelled at by Judge Yelly. All right. So I think there was like a DV/trespassing issue. The lady that the witness called the police to try to kick this guy out of their house. I don't think he left, but there was an issue going on. The police came. He was arrested for. We're about to hear the charges here shortly. But yeah, she only lived at the house for about a month. She just moved in. I don't know where this guy, what relation he has with anybody in the house. She doesn't know who owns the house. She just knows his name is Dave or David. I think they said. I don't know, but it's confusing. I understand it's confusing, but we'll put the pieces together as we go through.
Before Nick left, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was his property.
That he left there, yes.
That was his guitar.
Yes.
And do you know, before that, do you know who the guitar belonged to? Were you aware that it was his deceased grandfather's?
I think he may have told me that,
So you were aware.
but
So yes or no?
I said he might have told me that.
And you did that in the yard,
In the sidewalk, right in front of the house.
in front of others.
Mm-hmm.
Were you upset with him?
Yeah, he sexually harassed me for the last 3 days prior to that.
Did you make a police report of any kind before that?
I'm going to object to the relevance of this line of questioning.
These are the events that occurred on the day of the incident, Your Honor.
Hold on. Overruled. And if I hear one more peep from you, Mr. Boken, I'm going to hold you in contempt of court. I don't want to hear any sound out of your mouth. Go ahead.
You were upset with him, correct?
Yes.
Do you guys remember the Get Off the Shed sketch with Will Ferrell? I actually think it was his SNL audition skit that he did, but it was just Get Off the Shed. If you haven't seen it, you should Google it. It's brilliant. He's just having a normal conversation at a like a backyard picnic barbecue, and but in the middle of just like having a normal conversation with another adult, he turns and starts yelling at his kids about getting off the shed. And so he goes from just being perfectly normal to screaming his head off at his kids and then going right back to being perfectly normal. That's what this reminds me of. We're in the middle of a case and then out of nowhere, a judge is like, stop talking. Oh, it's good. It's good. Yes. Get Off the Shed, Will Ferrell. If you guys haven't seen it, you need to check that out.
You said Nick had already left the house.
Before or after I smashed the guitar while I was inside the house still.
So you smashed the guitar in view of Nick.
No, they were inside the house.
So
I went outside, no one else was around.
Nick and Dave were inside the house.
Correct. Nick was in the kitchen and Dave was in the dining room.
Okay, and then did Nick have other belongings at the house?
Not that I'm aware of.
He didn't have a bag of clothes?
He took those with him.
But
Black and pink bag.
were they there at the time? That day?
Not the second time he came
No.
back, no.
Earlier that day, were there a bag of clothes? Did he have a bag of clothes?
Yeah.
So he had stuff there.
The first time
Right.
when this happened,
So he did
had
have
the-
personal property inside the home.
not a bag of clothes.
You just
The time-
said-
the
you
time
just said
of
he had a
this
bag.
incident,
Hold on. Stop badgering her. Let her answer your questions. You ask her a question, you don't let her finish.
I'm sorry.
So go ahead, answer his question.
The time of the incident, all he had at the house was his guitar. Earlier in that day, when he left, he had taken the rest of his stuff. So at the time of this, it was only the guitar that he had.
Let's get to the photos that you witnessed today. You mentioned that this photo, Exhibit A, that you've seen, I want to show Nick.
Let's say,
Was this done with by the coffee table? So Nick didn't do this. The coffee table did this.
Hey, Katie said, good to see you. Glad you stopped by. You also gave me an opportunity to pause so I can catch up. None of your business. Thank you so much for the 13 months. More pausing. Absolutely more pausing. Thank you so much, Nunya. Clip clap. For Collins to pause in the middle of Judge's yell. He always yells. Yes, he does. Thank you so much for the super chat. Wixam, thank you so much. I will help underwrite trips here for the great state of Michigan for court cases. Colin, as I have done before, I know it's expensive. Wixam, I do appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Phil, headphone replacement fund. Absolutely. We might need a couple new headphones after this. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
That's what I said.
So just making sure this mark on your leg was done by the coffee table, not by Nick.
Well, it was from him pushing me down when I fell on the coffee table, so I mean, kind of would be from him.
That day, did you call Nick any racial slurs?
Yeah,
You did? What racial slurs did you call Nick?
the N-word.
Objection, Your Honor. I don't see the relevance of these.
Your Honor, these are events that led up to the incident.
Overruled. Go ahead.
So on the record, you stated that you did call Nick I'm sorry, what was it?
The N-word.
That, which is a derogatory term towards African Americans, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So was this,
After days of being sexually harassed and
but,
I blew up and exchanged words, yes.
so let me see if I'm getting this clear. Nick has been staying there for a couple days?
No, he does not stay there. He would just pop in here and there.
Okay. So, but he was there for a couple days, popping in.
Ask and answer, Your Honor. I object.
There, yes.
Okay.
If there's an objection, let me respond to the objection before you ask the next question.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Objection is overruled since he already moved on. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I lost my, so he was popping in for a couple days.
The defense attorney is sitting right next to the witness, the victim witness. That's the defense attorney. The defendant is on the screen in jail. The prosecutor is at the bottom. You can't see him, but you can see his computer.
He wasn't staying there. You make these allegations against him. You never called the police. You never called the county police, correct? Of these allegations.
No, but I have multiple witnesses that can come testify with the sexual harassment over the days if need be.
I'm sure you do, but just for these
But what is-
instances here, you never.
What does
And
this
then you
have
got-
to do with any of this?
Hold on.
This is all.
Hold on.
before
Hold
the
on. Mrs.
incident.
Smith, Ms. Smith. He asks the questions, you answer his questions. You
I
don't
get
ask him.
that.
Listen, you don't ask questions of the attorneys. You
I'm sorry,
answer
go
their
ahead.
questions, okay? Go ahead. The question was, I thought, whether you called the police or not. Did
Right.
you call the police?
Yes,
Okay. Move on.
So then you let up and you called Nick the N-word. And you blew up on him.
Your Honor, I don't know how many times I have to repeat myself, like, he keeps asking the same question.
I'm just trying to get a standard for the timeline and how the incident went down. That's
Well,
all.
then ask her a question about the timeline,
Right.
instead of just generally asking the question.
Like, every-
Hold on. Be quiet. Ask another question.
Your Honor, I'm just trying to get a basis of it.
Well, then try to lay a timeline. Neither one of you, the attorneys, have really addressed the timeline here. I'm kind of floating in the air wondering what the heck happened, what the relationship says, what happened at what time of day, and so forth. There hasn't been much of a foundation laid to this.
Your Honor, I agree with you. I don't
Well, then
know.
lay one.
Okay. So April 8th, the day of the incident.
It's always great when the judge has to tell the attorneys how to do their jobs. Like, guys, come on. What is going on here? We're confused too. We're trying to put pieces together. We don't know either. Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
Nick was there. He had his bag of clothes with him. He left. He came back after you smashed the guitar. You called him the N-word, correct?
He left with his stuff,
Okay.
other than the guitar. When he came back, he was asked to leave again. He did it. I smashed the guitar. He left. We locked the door. He kicked it in and came after me.
But when did you call him the N-word in that time frame?
While I was smashing the guitar. So they probably heard it from inside because I was yelling.
Okay, and before that time, Nick didn't come at you at all before you were smashing the guitar, allegedly.
No.
Nick was just inside minding his own business while you were outside smashing the guitar, calling him the N-word. Is that
He was
correct?
asked numerous times to leave that day, yes, and refused to leave.
And you don't own the house.
No, the homeowner also asked him to leave. He wasn't invited, nothing, like, he just helped himself walk
So
in
he
the
would
house.
pop up every day,
Not
not
every,
invited.
not every day.
You just, okay, but you just
Here and
mentioned
there,
that here and
yes.
there, over a time frame.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Redirect?
Just briefly, Your Honor. On, Ms. Smith, on April 8th, 2025, was
I love how now the prosecutor's like, all right, I got to lay a foundation for the setting of what happened. All right. Tupac, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate it. Welcome to the 5 new members. Thank you so much, Tupac. You're awesome. And good to see you, bud. Hopefully you're well.
Nicholas Boken living at 162 Hayward Avenue in Conneaut?
No,
Was there a point to your knowledge that he did live there?
no,
Okay. And you indicated that he was, on that date, and he was asked to leave, correct?
by numerous people and multiple times, yes.
Okay. Were there other times he was asked to leave that you're aware of? Other
Over
days?
the few days, yes.
So he was,
He was asked not to come back, but
okay. And again, Mr. Syed mentioned the photograph of where you have blood on your leg there. Were there other injuries incurred by you as a result of the?
I don't know. I'm in the air about that. I see where that comment's coming from. I think he's trying to call this witness out on not being reliable, which is why I put that in the title. I mean, she doesn't seem to really understand what's going on. Her answers kind of seem to vary. The attorneys aren't helping. They're not doing a good job with their questions. But yeah, I don't know. I'll keep an open mind to that though.
Assault by Nick Bogan.
just a couple bruises from hitting the table.
Okay.
I showed up like the next day or so.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. I don't have any other question. Wait a minute, yes I do. Yes I do. Strike that. Do you remember what time of day these events that you've been describing, when you encountered Nick Boken and he kicked the door open, do you remember what time of day that was? Was it daytime, nighttime?
It was daytime.
Daytime?
Maybe evening.
Okay. And when you smashed the guitar, how far before when he kicked the door in?
It was all at the same time.
Okay.
I smashed the guitar, he got mad that I smashed the guitar. When he was outside, we locked the door and kicked it in. So it was all same time.
So just to be clear, on April 8th of this year, you were staying at 162 Hayward Avenue
Yes,
with David,
correct.
and you don't recall David's last name? Okay. And on that date, was Mr. Boken residing there? Did he live there?
He did not live there, no.
Okay.
He just visited.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
How did he, quote unquote, assault you? I've heard the question being asked that he assaulted you. What did he do to you?
He just charged at me and I fell and hit the table and Dave and the dog, like, got me.
Did he lay hands on you?
No, that's I don't.
Okay, because you had said pushed earlier.
Yeah, like,
So he entered the home. I'm trying to figure out
Charging at
what
me.
did he do to you?
he didn't do anything. Like, he charged at me, Dave and the dog stepped in. Like, the table is what caused my bruises.
So he never touched you at once he entered the home,
No,
but he
That's
charged
fine.
at you.
he charged at me, yes, but then people were able to step in before he could get to me.
Okay,
The
and you,
bruises are from the table.
as you were moving to avoid him,
Correct. I was walking backwards.
you've only lived there for a month? Yes?
Yes,
And you're living there with this David? Yes?
Yes.
What authority did you have to basically say that Mr. Boken couldn't be in there?
I mean, I reside there, and when Dave asked him and he doesn't want to listen, I said the same thing Dave did. So I mean, with residing there,
So how could Mr. Boken be sexually...
Daniel, I hate to tell you this, but there's no one in the court gallery. You know, I see the bailiff, and then the pews are empty. I don't know who you're talking about. Hopefully, I scared you for a second. Yeah, no, she's kind of creepy. I see that.
harassing you if he was only there periodically throughout the few days?
he would make comments towards me all the time. You can, like I said, I have witnesses with that.
Yet you don't know Dave's last name.
No, I just met him.
But you've lived with him for a month.
I've never asked the last name.
Okay, I have no further questions. Any follow-up on those questions?
I do have some follow-up. Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Smith, do you remember giving a written statement to law enforcement officers on that day?
Yeah.
Do you remember writing in your written statement that Mr. Boken charged at me, knocking me into the coffee table? Do you remember writing that? And then do you remember saying that's when Dave jumped up to get him off of me? So Mr. Boken did have physical contact with you, is that correct?
Yeah.
And he's the one that knocked you into the coffee table?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were injured by being pushed and knocked into the coffee table, is that correct?
Correct.
And you indicated that Dave had to get him off of you, is that correct?
Yeah.
Where was he on top? Was he on top of you? Mr. Boken was on top of you?
He expanded above me, yeah.
Okay. And what did Dave have to do then? Why did you say that Dave had to get him off of
Dave
you?
moved him away from me.
Okay.
Grabbed hold of him and moved him away. So he didn't hurt me.
But just so we're clear, Mr. Boken, you wrote, charged me, knocking me into the coffee table. So he had physical contact with you, correct?
Yeah.
Yes?
I'm not in the right state of mind right now. I keep trying to say this.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Any follow-up to my questions?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. So you just mentioned to Judge Irochi that Nick didn't put any hands on you. After that, literally not even a minute or two later, you just mentioned to Mr. Lewis that Nick did put hands on you. So which one is it?
I'm not in the right state of mind. I have stuff going on personally that happened today that I tried to say this. That I was
Ms.
not
Smith, this hearing is very important. Could you answer his question, please?
I just said I'm not in the right state of mind to think right now.
So obviously these answers are contradictory, and I don't mean to upset you anymore. But you mentioned to Judge Irochi, Nick did not put any hands on you. Mr. Lewis read that police report to you that mentioned that he did put hands on you. Obviously at that time you were angry at Nick because you kept calling him the N-word, correct?
I fell into the coffee table. That could have been for me tripping backwards, but right now...
So you don't remember what happened? You tripped backwards into the coffee
I
table.
have fallen into the coffee table, that is it.
So what you told Judge Irochi was true. Nick never put any hands on you.
I don't remember. I'm not in the right state of mind. I keep telling you this.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Like someone just broke into my house and I had to leave my house again.
Okay.
Your Honor, excuse me.
Mr. Boken, I'm shutting you down. You're not going to say, I'm turning the volume down. Officer, Sergeant, can you hear me? Okay. Ms. Smith, you're
All right, before Judge talks anymore, yeah, I don't want to spoil it, so I'm going to try to choose my words really carefully. I saw the end of this, so I agree with you, Pegleg. I don't find any probable cause either. It she smashed his grandpa's guitar. It's grandpa's guitar. She smashed it, then called him the N word, so he charged at her. May or may not have touched her. I think she's answered that question multiple different ways, and she fell back into a coffee table, and he's in jail. That's kind of the story that I'm putting together. But I don't know. I feel like there's been 2 or 3 different versions, so I'm just going with my best guess at this point. Yeah, that's it's interesting.
excused. Or, thank you, you're excused. I'm not sure if you need her. Any further witnesses?
No, Your Honor. No further witnesses.
Are you wishing to offer exhibits?
Hey, what's up, Shane? How are you doing, bud? How are you doing this evening? Thank you for stopping by.
Just A and B there, Your Honor.
Any objections to the admission of exhibits A or B?
No objection at this time, Your Honor, for those exhibits.
Okay. Plaintiff's exhibits A and B will be admitted without objection. Okay. Does the plaintiff rest?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Any evidence, Mr. Sayaj?
The defense does not present any evidence at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Counsel argument?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would point out that Ms. Smith did recall in her written statement that Mr. Woken knocked her into the coffee table. Those are words that I read to her from her written statement. She agreed with those. And that David, bless you. And then David, who in the police report is identified as Merkins, had to get Mr. Woken off of her. That's what she wrote in her written statement. And the first time I questioned her on direct examination, she said that Mr. Woken pushed her into the coffee table. Also that he kicked the door open. The exhibits show an injury as a result of Mr. Woken pushing her into the coffee table. That's an assault. There's also evidence that the door was kicked in by Mr. Woken. For that reason, Your Honor, asking that the case be bound over due to probable cause being shown that he committed the offense of aggravated burglary. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sayaj?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, first I want to start off by saying these are very serious allegations against Nicholas. It is a felony 1. We've heard contradictory statement from the only witness the state had to offer today. First, she's admitted on the record that she called Nick the N-word. Obviously, Nick is an African American. It's a racial slur used towards African Americans. She admitted she was angry at Nick. She admitted she smashed his guitar. I would consider she even lied on the record. She admitted to you personally, Nick never put any hands on her. We've asked her that question 3 times. She said it every time. As soon as Mr. Lewis goes on to ask her these questions, she admitted yes. She stated a multitude of times today she was not in the right state of mind. She can't even mention the last name of the person she's been living with a month. This is the only witness the state has to offer, and this is a felony 1 that Nick is facing. I don't see anything today that showed that he assaulted her. I will admit, yeah, I see the picture, but she's even said it's from the coffee table. She's mentioned to you that Nick never put any hands on her. She's admitted she was angry with Nick on April 8th, the day of the incident. She told me that because she said she called him the N-word, which is a very serious term used towards African Americans. If we're going based off her testimony alone, I don't believe this is sufficient to be bound over. I don't believe this is worth any felony whatsoever. And not only that, we never even heard from the homeowner, David, that we don't even know his last name because she can't produce it, even though she's lived with him for a month. He wasn't here to testify, he wasn't here as a witness. She said he showed up periodically. She said he shows up here and there, but then he shows up every other day. She's made allegations against him of sexual harassment. She's never once made a police report for those allegations. Not to my knowledge, not to the state's knowledge. These are very serious allegations for Nicholas. I understand Nicholas has a history here in this court. And, he understands that himself. But at this point, I don't see how an F1 aggravated burglary fits this type of testimony that we just heard. It would be absolutely prejudicial towards my client if this was bound over, especially just going off her testimony alone. She never once was coherent. She never stated anything consistently. And she was badgering most of the time. So for those reasons, we ask that this case be dismissed.
I think out of this entire video, the last minute where that defense attorney was just talking was that was the most coherent argument that's been made. Yeah, without knowing all the facts, I mean, they did a terrible job of even questioning the witness. I believe the defense. I don't think the prosecution proved anything, or yeah, I would throw it out. I would, no probable cause, dismiss it. At least for a felony one, Jesus.
Well, when you're arguing to a judge who knows the law, the best thing you can do, instead of just generalizing, saying that they haven't proven their case, is go through the elements of the charge, and which I'm going to do right now. The allegations are that on April 8th, 2025, in the city of Conneaut, that Mr. Boken did, by force, in this case, by force, I think there's sufficient evidence that an incident occurred on April 8th at 162 Hayward Avenue in the city of Conneaut, and that he did enter by force that occupied structure, which I find is an occupied structure. When another person is present, which based on Ms. Smith's testimony, she was present along with the alleged homeowner, Dave.
I'm guessing it's because there's not a mic there. I see the witness stand. Yeah, because the defendant's in jail, they might have had to sit her there so they could hear her. I'm sure there's a reason. They wouldn't sit the witness next to the defense attorney if they didn't have an option. That's just my guess. Just my guess.
With purpose to commit in the structure any criminal offense, which, based on the testimony, would have been some type of harm, probably assault. The offender having afflicted or inflicted or attempted or threatened to inflict physical harm on another. I find that there's sufficient evidence to demonstrate that he did attempt to harm her by charging at her, and that she did, based on the evidence, experience physical harm. Ms. Smith. The question is the final element, which is the basic element for any burglary, is trespass. Whether he trespassed in this structure. The standard of proof in a preliminary hearing is probable cause. And while I have a lot of questions, serious questions about Ms. Smith's testimony, at trial, when the burden is beyond a reasonable doubt, I think it's going to be necessary that Dave, whoever the homeowner is, testifies that Mr. Boken trespassed. I do find that her testimony, having lived there for a month, is sufficient to be able to say that she had the authority to be able to tell people, whoever's there, not to be there. And so I do find that based on all of the elements contained in the aggravated burglary charge, that those elements have been satisfied by probable cause. I do find, based after the hearing then, that this case will be bound over to the Asheville County Common Pleas Court for further proceedings. I do find, based on the evidence as well, that case number 25 CRB 100, where Mr. Boken is charged with assault, a first-degree misdemeanor, which alleges that he did knowingly cause or attempt to cause physical harm to Ms. Smith, is sufficient, and because it arises out of the same set of circumstances, that this charge or case will be bound over as well with the felony case. Is there any objection to the misdemeanor case being bound over?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Syed?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Now I'm going to address the issue of bond. Bond was set in the amount of $100,000, cash surety 10%, with the conditions that the defendant not consume or possess alcohol or drugs, that he be subject to random chemical testing, that he have no contact with Sierra Smith, and to remain off the premises at 162 Hayward Avenue in Conneaut. That was the bond in the felony case. In the misdemeanor case, it was $10,000, cash surety 10% with the exact same conditions. I also ordered a GPS monitor at the defendant's expense should he wish to or seek to post bond. So, Mr. Sayaj, would you like to be heard on bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, this time we asked for a personal recognizance bond. I do understand my client. He's been in the city jail since April 8th, 8 days. If a personal recognizance bond was not given at this time, we'd ask for something more attainable. My client does use our services, so he is indigent. I don't believe he could afford a GPS tracking device. But in the past, he did have a preliminary hearing in January, and he did show up, and he has been here. So I do think I guarantee that he will keep going to his court hearings. So at this time, we ask for a personal recognizance bond, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Lewis?
Thank you, Your Honor. It's the state's position that the bond as currently set is appropriate in light of the seriousness of this offense, also in light of Mr. Boken's pretty substantial criminal history, and also the numerous times before this court that Mr. Boken has failed to appear for hearings, etc. We would ask that the bond not be modified at this time. Thank you, Your Honor.
If I didn't say it, I need to say it. Pursuant to Criminal Rule 5, then case number 25 CRB 100 will be bound over with the felony case without objection, counsel. We just recently had a felony case. I think it was a low-level felony aggravated possession of drugs case. Mr. Boken was just here on. That got bound over. Mr. Boken was present for that preliminary hearing. I have a stack of cases here from Mr. Boken where he's again failed to pay fines that I've ordered him to pay. These cases are set for a review hearing tomorrow. Coincidentally, they were set for a review hearing tomorrow. That hearing tomorrow is being canceled. But nonetheless, those cases evidence to me that Mr. Boken has been a serious flight risk in the past with this court. He's failed to comply with previous court orders. This is a serious charge. And while I question the veracity of some of the comments and statements made by the witness, I do find her in many ways credible, and that what is alleged to have happened by Mr. Boken did happen. In case number 25 CRA 95, bond will continue. $100,000 cash surety 10%. I am removing the GPS requirement. And then 25 CRB 100, bond will continue as previously said. I will remove the GPS requirement in that case as well. Anything further, Mr. Lewis?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Sayaj?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Hold on, Mr. Sayaj. I'm not done with you. Sit down. In these other cases, 23 CRB 336, 23 CRB 113, 20 TRD 329, 20 CRB 186, and 20 CRB 111. Mr. Boken was ordered to pay on January 6, 2025, $265. On January 6th, and $50 per month no later than February 7th, 2025, and continuing no later than the 7th day of each month thereafter until all fines and costs are paid in full. He paid $265 on January 6th. He paid $50 on February 7th, but has made no payments for March or April. I have continually had these kinds of hearings for Mr. Boken on his failure to pay. I'm appointing Public Defender's Office to represent him in these cases, and I'm scheduling a contempt hearing next Monday, April 21st, 2025 at 12 o'clock p.m. pursuant to Section 2947.14c of the Ohio Revised Code on the defendant's failure to pay fines in these cases, and it will be up to the defendant to prove and demonstrate to the court reasons as to his inability to pay the fines. So these cases are set for hearing, and you can advise Mr. Heasley accordingly if he's here, Mr. Sayedge. Okay, now the...
All right. That was fun, right? That was fun. Yeah, I agree with most of the chat when I think the judge got that one wrong. Yeah, at least on the current charges. Yeah, I mean, okay, so he kicked the door down, I guess. He broke the lock. They locked him out. He broke it. And she received injuries based on that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still think it's a stretch. I really do. Is he guilty of something? Yeah. He broke into someone's house. They didn't want him there. Okay, I'm done. I'm just gonna talk in circles, and you guys don't want to hear that. I wanted to answer Wixom's question real quick. Why do I think that he hasn't been picked up yet? There could be a couple reasons for this. He does have a felony warrant, so they're looking for him. They may have sent officers to his house. We got to remember that the original charge is interfering and battery on a Leo. The battery is what makes it a felony and why he's in circuit court. It's not the most egregious crime, right? It's still a felony warrant, and they're looking for him. Maybe he could be actively hiding. He absolutely could be. He did ask for a Zoom appearance and didn't show up. Maybe he's not in the state. That's a possibility as well. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would dodge court. He seemed like the guy that wants to prove that he's right. So yeah, I think he's going to be picked up shortly, or he's going to turn himself in. But I don't know when his next court date is scheduled for, or even if there's one scheduled at all. They might just be waiting until he's picked up. But if there is one scheduled, I wouldn't be surprised if he waltzes in there for his next appearance. That's my guess. That's my guess on Miguel. Lone Wolf, what's up, buddy? All right, next one. Okay, we got another case. There's a second case tonight. We're jumping to Judge Washington. You guys may have seen this one. I know at least OSG put it out. I'm gonna guess other people put it out too. I feel like I saw it on other people's channels, but it's good. I wanted to play it before it got too old. So we're in Judge Washington's court, and we've got a bit of an issue to deal with. Let's go.
Well, we'll call the cases of Amber Bonham, case numbers 24S00335, 15T11900, 15T13180, and 24W00636. We're here for a pretrial, a pre-hearing conference, and 2 reviews.
What's for the people?
Matthew Answer on behalf of Miss Amber Bonham. Amber, can you unmute and state your name for the judge, please?
Amber Louise Bonham.
Thank you.
Foz, I thought the exact same thing when I was watching this docket this morning. I waited for his case to be called. Just like this guy looks way too familiar. I don't even remember what the charge was or why he was there, but it was nothing happened. So, but I do agree. He does look familiar. That's my boy right there. It's like Gardenier. I don't know how to pronounce it. He's completely changed his life around. I covered him 6, 7, 8 months ago. It was sometime last year, and he had to turn himself in. He was non-compliant on probation, talking back to Judge Washington. Not good. He ended up doing some time in prison because he was an idiot. But then he completely turned his life around. Now he's compliant. He's sober. He's going to his meetings. So he still pops up because of the review hearings. But I am really proud of him. I am glad that I no longer have to cover him because he's doing the right thing. But because you called out the ceiling fan, I want to take a moment to tell that guy congratulations. He's not listening, but I'll still give credit where credit's due.
All right, in this particular case, I continued the bench warrant.
Yes.
And she was here on March 27th. Since then, on April 1st, she missed the scheduled test between 9 p.m. and 12 a.m. Testing on April 2nd at 4:01 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Which that is 4 hours after. Ma'am, please stop talking. Which is some 4 hours after she was scheduled to test. On April 1st, she missed.
I could be like you and put my own comments up. You're the only YouTuber I know that will type something in the chat just to bring it up on screen. Hold on, let's do this. Hold on. That's what it's like. Wolfie, good to see you, my friend.
Nope, that's the same day. On April 4th, she was supposed to test at 11:57. She tested at 11:57 when she was supposed to. She had an alcohol BAC of 0.022. Retested on April the 5th at 12:14 and had an alcohol BAC of 0.017. Ma'am, you're being arraigned on a new violation in this case. You have a right to have a hearing on these violations, at which time, if it is shown that you did violate, your bond can be revoked. On April 21st, if she hasn't turned herself in, her bond is going to be forfeited that she posted before. And so that is where we are.
Okay, Your Honor. I hate to waste the court's time, Your Honor. Can we approach, please?
No, I don't know what there is to approach about. She tested positive again for alcohol.
Your Honor, if I might, please.
No, Amber. Do not make it worse than it is.
And Judge,
All
I
right.
think she was supposed to have a new assessment completed at this time as well. I don't know if that's been done.
Yeah, Your Honor. She's been working on that assessment with Matt Statman. The next available time that Matt Statman let Amber know is available is the beginning of May. It's a little backed up, according to
when she called. We've sent people there since March 27th who've had appointments.
I wasn't aware when she called, Your Honor, but she did state she has emailed and
Sir, please. Every
I'm
time
just
you
saying.
open your pie hole, you get it worse trouble. So stay the course.
What is it that you want to say to me, Mr. Mansour, in a breakout room that you can't say here?
Your Honor, I was wondering if there's any alternative or anything we can do
There is
regarding
no alternative. The alternative is for her to not drink, which she can't stop doing.
even if we could maybe, agree to get her into some sort of program in the meantime to not allow her to turn.
That was what we just tried to do, and she still hasn't even gotten the assessment done. All right. I'm done setting pretrials in this case. Apparently, she's not gonna turn herself in and she's not gonna stop drinking. Bench warrant will continue and we're gonna have her picked up.
Have a good
Your Honor,
night, Mama
if
Wolfie.
I could, just one last request. If I could, if she would agree to just check into a program within, the next 48 hours even, would you consider, I don't know if she would, I don't know if she's willing to do it, but if
She's
she
not
is,
complete denial. But if she says she wants to check in 48 hours, I'll hear from her about that.
okay, can I, Amber, are you willing to do that?
He's got nothing to work with. She's not doing what she's supposed to be doing. They pushed this out multiple times. How are you supposed to represent her at this point? But Judge Washington kind of already made up her mind right when she read the file that she hasn't done anything. I like Mr. Mansour. He does a good job. Yeah, this is just a hard one.
I don't know that I fully understand what that means, Your Honor. If you could please just allow for me to understand what checking in means.
Your Honor, if you want, I can talk to her, so we don't do this on the record.
Ask this again. Ms. Woods, before they go into the breakout room, is there anything you would like to say?
Judge, I don't know if this really makes any difference. But she also tested positive on 3/16, and I don't think she was violated for that either. I'm just shocked because of how she's come to court saying that she's an honest person and will do everything and anything that the court asks of her. And then after that hearing, she was violated. And then she goes back out and is drinking again. It's just shocking.
I have not been drinking, Your Honor, and and I have been honest every step of the way, and I will not be anything other than. I have admitted to my wrongs. I have admitted to my wrongs, Miss Woods. I have. That is prior to 3/27. And I have been compliant.
Mm-hmm.
I have, Your Honor. I have.
Mr. Mansour, you should probably talk to your client.
Thank you.
All right. Before we get into the last part of this, Nanya, very generous of you. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships and welcome to the 10 new members. Nanya, thank you so much. That was very generous of you. You're awesome. Okay, let's finish this up. Let's go.
The court will call the cases of the State of Michigan versus Amber Bonham, 24S 00335, and all the other cases.
Tiffany was for the people.
Matthew Mansour on behalf of Ms. Bonham. Amber, can you unmute and state your name one more time?
Amber Louise Bonham.
Thank you. Mr. Mansour?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you for that opportunity. I have given Ms. Bonham the number to call. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. She sent me a number for the access number to get residential treatment. She has it. Your Honor, I'm hopeful she calls and checks into a program. She was just very, stressed out and frustrated and scared because she has a child at home. She doesn't know what would happen if she does check into a treatment program. I told her to try to line everything up right now with her work and her child and everything. She has the number. If you could please just, if you could leave the warrant outstanding, we understand, but please.
If they said that her last appearance was on the 27th. I have that docket for Judge Washington. I'll go see if she had an appearance then. I don't remember her though. This is the first time I remember seeing her, but I could have missed it. I'll go check for it though. Well, I'm not going to be able to play it tonight, but if I do find her previous appearance and it's just as interesting, I'll package both these videos together and put it out over the weekend.
See if you can not, or see if you can refrain from having her picked up like immediately, if possible.
We talked about this last time she was here. I gave her specific options to not have that occur. And we're back here again with what community correction shows as a positive test. Obviously, she's entitled to have a hearing on that when the time comes. The bench warrant will be outstanding, and she should get herself into a place within 72 hours. After that, I'm going to request that the sheriff's department pick her up.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
And there'll be no more court dates set until these matters are resolved.
Your Honor, if I might.
Amber, no, please.
No, Mr. Mansour.
No. Your attorney just got you out of jail. If you go check yourself in, don't say anything. Don't do it.
I just want to understand what it is that is expected of me. I will go into a placement for some time period. I don't know.
Ma'am, I'm not your attorney. That is for your attorney to explain, and you've had a meeting with him. If you need additional time to talk to him, please call him so he can explain it to you.
I don't know what this means, and I'm just looking to understand.
Ma'am, I'm concerned that you may be actually drinking right now, because I don't know how else to say.
I'm not drinking right now, Your Honor.
Talk to your attorney.
Yeah. I thought she sounded like she was slurring her words. It's hard because someone just said that OSG put out a video of her from a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I'll go check it. And I'm like I said, I download Judge Washington's dockets every single day, so I have them. But for whatever reason, I don't remember her. But I'll go put them together. But yeah, she sounded like she was slurring her words. But it's hard to now I'm just talking in circles. Wow, I almost said the exact same thing. All right, that's a good point to end tonight's stream. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. I do have a slight major announcement. I might have to change members on Monday because Team Skeptic wants to come on stream, and he's got a very specific video that he wants us to cover together. So that is potentially happening on Monday. So if it does happen, I'm going to have to change members Monday. I might do it Sunday night instead. I'm waiting on the confirmation from him. He's been talking about it for a few weeks, so I think it's going to happen, which is why I'm sharing it. So keep lookout for that. But yeah, like I said, I'll keep you updated on what's going on. Yeah, that's it. You guys have a great night. Thank you for your generosity tonight. Super chats, gifted memberships, membership milestones. You guys were rocking tonight. I do appreciate it. We're actually rating Jen Hardy tonight. It's been a long time since I've rated her. I've rated Lone Wolf the last 3 nights in a row. And he's live right now if you want to go hang out with Lone Wolf. But Jen Hardy's live, and like I said, it's been a while since I rated her. So we're gonna rate her tonight. Yeah, that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, I know the tomorrow generally starts the long weekend for Easter. Guys, have a great and safe Easter weekend. Don't do anything dumb. Just please don't. It's unnecessary. Just have fun and enjoy your long weekend. All right, you guys are awesome. Until next time, bye.